Hello everyone, my name's Pigsy, and in today's video I'm going to show you 17 brand new Sega Genesis and Mega Drive games which came out over the past 12 months. Long-term viewers of my channel will know that every year I do a roundup of the games currently in development for the console. The latest one, which I put out just a week ago, had 60 games, so I think it's fair to say that the indie game scene on Sega's 16-bit console is really thriving. I will add a link to that video in the video description in case you want to check it out, but in today's video we're going to focus on the fully completed games which were released. There are quite a few games to get through, so I'm going to order the list as follows. The games at the beginning will be what you call the big commercial games which had big Kickstarter campaigns and by companies which generally release a new game once every 1 or 2 years. These games will generally be sold as physical copies, so you'll get a box, a cartridge and an instruction manual just like you did back in the 90s. That said, some of these games do give you the option to purchase a digital copy of the game, which you can then play on your Genesis or Mega Drive via a flash card. And if you would like to play these games but don't have an original console, then don't worry too much because most of them will eventually have some kind of modern ports as well on the PS5, the Switch and PC and so on. As we then get further and further down the list, that's where you'll find these fan-made games, these often unofficial ports of popular IPs. These games will generally only have a digital copy only and it'll be on a donation basis. The donations there are also very small, normally just the price of what a weekend rental would have been back in the day, plus the quality of these is really high. So I recommend that you give what you can. After all, although these are passion projects, I'm sure they took the devs a lot of time and effort, and I think the more motivation we can give them to continue producing these type of great games, the better. It all helps to contribute to a healthy dev scene. I will include links of where to purchase and download all of the games featured in today's video in the video description. The two games you've been seeing on your screen so far this video, Earthion by legendary ancient developer UsagiRu of Streets of Rage fame, and the Mega Drive port of Final Fight by MX Retro Dev, unfortunately didn't quite make this year's list due to requiring a few finishing touches before they're finished, but they should feature in next year's video. But not to worry, because I've got a cracking list of games for you today, and in fact one of my favourite is the final one, which is a tiny little ROM which uses the Mega Drive hardware to give it a unique experience. Okay, without further ado, let's take a look at all the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive games which released in 2025. Along with UsagiRu's Earthion, I think it's fair to say that ZPF has been one of the most anticipated shooters on the system. Development on this went very quiet for a certain period of time, so I think it was a relief when the Kickstarter finally showed up. Unfortunately, just a few months after the Kickstarter, the game was completed. Judging by all the positive reviews it received, I think it definitely lived up to the hype, and the full game is currently available for purchase on cartridge only. Although that said, it does seem that there might be a digital Steam version at some point in the future. Next up we have Daemon Claw, which is an arcade style beat 'em up action game. It was a joint project between Nekketsu Studios and Bitsbeam Cannon. Nekketsu are of course famous for their previous Mega Drive games such as Demon of Asgard. In fact, both of these companies are currently developing 2 separate games. And if you want more details on those, then you can check out that 60 new games currently in development video. This one is available on cartridge, or if you prefer, there's also a digital version for Nekketsu games. Normally if you buy the one on Steam, that also include the Mega Drive ROM as well. Next up we have another arcade style action game, this time in the future with guns. The Cursed Legacy by Broke Studio is a sequel to their previous game on the Mega Drive from a couple of years back, The Cursed Knight. As well as the usual 2D side view perspective, it also has some impressive 3D sections. This is available to buy it on cartridge and also on Steam, which I believe also contains the Mega Drive ROM too. Next up we have The Secret of the Four Winds by Kai Magazine Software. This same company previously produced titles on the Mega Drive such as Life on Earth and Life on Mars, and this is what you could describe as an action RPG set in an urban environment. This is available on cartridge only, no digital version as far as I know, but they do have a demo you can play to see if it's for you or not, which I will of course include in the video description. Next up we have Coloco DX, a choplifter style helicopter game from Tuxedo game devs, which seems to have flown under the radar for many people. Although the gameplay is very similar to Sega's classic 1980s arcade game, the level design itself is a lot more developed and intricate. At the present moment this seems to be a physical release only, so I'll include a link if you want to buy the cartridge. Now we go from helicopters to pogo sticks with Go Go Pogogirl. As someone who's played this one quite a bit myself, the best way I describe it is that the game mechanics feel very similar to the pogo jump in DuckTales on the NES. Although of course in this case you're bouncing all the time. It has some nice game design which encourages you to go back to levels you previously played to find some difficult to get collectibles that you missed your first time round. This is available both as a cartridge and as a digital download. Next up we have our second shoot 'em up game of 2025, True Galactic Mission by Davilia Games. This is a vertical shooter which reminds me a lot of the classic Mega Drive game Tuxedo. This is available as a cartridge as well as a Steam release, although I'm not sure if the PC version includes the Mega Drive ROM or not.
Galactic Mission.
Para Mega Drive.
You may recognise this title from my 60 games currently in development video, because unbeknownst to me this had finished already. It is the third in a series of graphical adventures and it seems to have both a physical and digital edition. Another game regular viewers of the channel may recognise from one of my in development videos is this one-on-one fighting game, which I won't even try to pronounce. As I understand it, its English name is River City Fighters, and it's an unofficial adaptation of the River City Girls beat 'em up games into a one-on-one fighter. It's available for download on a donation basis, and I definitely encourage you to throw a few bucks to these people here as they did a really professional job on making this. This next game is another one available for download on a donation basis. This time it's an unofficial port of an NES classic, Metal Gear. It's a funny coincidence because I actually played Metal Gear Solid, the PlayStation game, for the very first time last year, and so I'm very pleased to be able to play the original on the Mega Drive for the first time this year. The developer Hoffman was very busy last year as he also did Neo Geo ports of Golden Axe and Shinobi. He's done a great job here, as has Engelbart with the music. The following two games are from the same studio called Two Black Cats. This first one is a platformer puzzle game where you have to make sure you always land on the right colour of ink. Although it looks very simple at first, it quickly ramps up in difficulty and becomes a really fun head scratcher. Their other game is this challenging single screen platformer. Both games are available for download on a donation basis. Although they both seem to be official releases, so I'm not sure why they're on a donation basis rather than just being a straight up fee. Whatever the case, I think they're both really fun. I especially enjoyed the Inkventure, the puzzle game, so definitely worth your time and money. Next up, we have this Ghouls and Ghosts style action game by Brazilian developer Nemesis. This is entirely free to download and is well worth your time if you're a fan of Capcom's classic game. For our 14th entry today, I have another very difficult platformer for you, Rick Dangerous DX. The history of this one is quite interesting. The original game was made for the Amiga and Atari ST in 1989, and it was then remade for the Nintendo Wii. This Mega Drive game is essentially a backport of that Wii version. It's a fun but difficult game which obviously takes a lot of inspiration from Indiana Jones. It is available as a download on a donation basis. We have another Amiga 2 Mega Drive port up next with the Three Stooges.
Hey, this looks like a kid game. You idiots!
You'd often be returning to this screen here where you have to stop the hand by pressing a button, and depending on which one it lands on, it will take you to a different minigame. I'm not sure if I ever played this on my older brother's Amiga back in the day, but it definitely feels very Amiga.
Calling Dr. Howard. Dr. Devine. Dr. Howard.
For our penultimate title of today, we have this really fun puzzle game. It seems that this game was originally an Atari ST game, but not from the 90s, from actually 2022. Unfortunately, the physical copies for that Atari ST game, complete with the box and floppy disk, have seemed to have sold out. However, the good news is that as of 2025, it is available for free download on the Mega Drive. Playing this just last night, the first 3 levels were very easy, but then I got stuck on this 4th one. And just watching the footage that I recorded here, I just realised I was so focused on the puzzle that I missed the amazing rotation going on in the background. I really like the music on this one. I don't know quite what it is, but it's triggering something nostalgic deep inside. If anyone recognises the track, then please let me know. In the meantime, I have another go at this tonight and see if I can solve the 4th puzzle. I said earlier in the video that the final game in today's video is one of my favourites, and here it is. Far as Singularity is also the most simple game featured today. It's just this one screen here and you have to battle the viruses. What makes this such an interesting and creative game, however, is how the more you play, the more the game glitches out your Mega Drive hardware. In other words, it actually really feels like your Mega Drive has caught a virus. It's free to download and only takes about 10 to 15 minutes to play through, so I won't spoil it here. Definitely download it yourself and have a try. And as a little bonus before we end, we actually have this new translation of a previous Japanese exclusive game. Normally it's the Sega Saturn against the big translation projects. However, it still seems that there are more than a few Japanese Mega Drive exclusives too which haven't come into English yet. This looks like a really fun strategy game and I can't wait to play. Okay, so that's it for this video. I think 2025 has been a really great year for Mega Drive development. 17 new games and ports isn't bad for a console which released back in 1988. And with 60 games currently in development for the console at the moment, who knows how many we'll get next year. As I said at the beginning of the video, we should make sure that we support all these hard-working developers. I think the Mega Drive indie game scene is really healthy at the moment, and part of the responsibility not only lies with the developers, but with us the fans too. The more support we give them, the more great games we'll have in the future. Thank you very much for watching until the end, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this content. I will have more retro dev related videos throughout 2026, so I'll see you then.